There? Okay. All right.
Probably somebody against the wall.
Well, we're going to get started, everyone, because we have a lot to cover. First of all, thank you all so much for showing up, and a special thanks to those of us that are joining online. We are really, really excited about this opportunity that the development community fully aware of all the opportunities that will be coming. Release this offering document, this ITN. A few housekeeping items first before we get started. Please make sure that you've signed your contact information so that we can reach out to you with updates or be able to communicate with you on more information should you need it. For those of you that are watching this online and streaming, please put your contact information in the chat box or the comment box, or you can send your information to Tess Fleming, tess.fleming@cbre.com. So without further ado, I will show you, this is just a snapshot of our agenda today. We're going to kick things off with our council chairperson, the Honorable Doug Lawson, and he has a few words to open our program.
Good afternoon, everyone. Guys, come on, listen. We're here for Riviera Beach. Let's give it up for Riviera Beach, guys, please. Come on. We're excited. This room is packed wall to wall with people from all over the country interested in Riviera Beach. Me being homegrown and a kid from the city, I'm so excited because I see the opportunity and the potential that we put together. Years ago, we decided that we were going to reimagine what Riviera Beach was going to be about. With the strong leadership of this council, with our city manager, Jonathan Evans, we've decided to reimagine Riviera Beach, partnering with our local, our minority, and our women businesses, and partnering with primes from all over the country. We're going to reimagine Riviera Beach. Today is a matchmaking. Today, people that are watching at home, across the nation, and in this room, we want you to know that Riviera Beach is open for business. We are serious about development here in this community, so thank you. First and foremost, thank you. Because for your interest and investment into Riviera Beach, we're excited. This project is going to reimagine what the city looks like because we're going to be focusing on the heartbeat of our community. Our city hall facilities, our parks and recs, our streetscaping, the essence of what Riviera Beach is going to be transformed starting today. So please make sure our goal is to focus on local, women, minority businesses. We want to make sure that the money that's being spent from the city impacts and goes back into this community. So as the chairman of this board, that is my priority. Making sure we find the right partner to invest in Riviera Beach for Riviera Beach. We staff, we have a board, and we have leadership that's prepared to get this done. So now I think with us being open for business, you have electeds that's been here 5 years each. So we have a board that understands the commitment to invest in the community. You have a city manager that is strong in development, growth, and infrastructure. So we are ready to work and partner with you. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, CBRE, and thank you to our community. Guys, we're open for business. We're excited. I'm the board chair, Councilman Lawson. Thank you for being here today. You're a blessing, every single one of you. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for being here today. We're certainly excited about the opportunities here in Riviera Beach, but more importantly, welcome to paradise. Where can you go and look at a development opportunity where you have a cruise ship that is literally docked in close proximity? The site that you're sitting on today will be transformed. We have Marina Village that is this particular property that you'll see a situation where you will have condos, market rate products that will be here partnering with the related group, well over 300 plus units. You'll also have a workforce element here because one of the things that was important, our board was not tone deaf to the challenges that are happening with regards to a workforce. This particular property, we have partnered with the Margaritaville brand that this area will create a node of commerce and opportunities for all folks that live, work, and play in Riviera Beach. So you are on the precipice of something great. The city of Riviera Beach back in 2019 decided to say, we are going to reimagine our community. We're going to do it block by block. We're going to do it person by person. But we want to make sure that we promote inclusive redevelopment opportunities, that the folks that live, work, and play here today have an opportunity to participate in the growth and redevelopment that's happening. This board has been focused on infrastructure. When I came in 2019, I told the board that you may not have been the board that created the issues, but you better believe you're going to be the board to fix the issues. Our first reimagined Riviera Beach product was a library. Literacy and access to education has been at the forefront of what this community has desired. And so the board was able to deliver a state-of-the-art library. We have on the corner of Congress and Blue Heron, Fire Station 88, which is actually the #3 ranked municipal facility in the country and one of the top fire stations in the world. We are doing things here in Riviera Beach that other communities will rival to do. And so as we look for partners to help us create the reimagined Riviera Beach brand, and I emphasize the word partners because that's what we're here for. We're asking for your assistance in helping us activate a new city hall, bring forth world-class recreational amenities, and to create a node that this community has been looking for people to truly spend and invest their dollars here in Riviera Beach. A lot of folks that we've talked to, one of our residents have said to me many times, Mr. Manager, all I want is the opportunity to have a restaurant that has tablecloths, to have a situation where I can buy a shirt and tie in the community that I live and care so much about. You all in this room and you all watching at home have an opportunity not just to build things that are bricks and mortar, but to create a lasting legacy that leaves this community in a better place than which we found it. And so we ask for a true partnership in this. And so as we go through Reimagine Riviera Beach, I want to share some of the slides and what's contemplated in this ITN. This ITN is really looking to create a partnership. There's different components that are incorporated in this ITN, one being City Hall. We have a property that the board has defined as a preferred location, but the board is willing to have discussions and conversations with parties for the purposes of facilitating what is the best value for the city, what is the best value for the taxpayer, and what's the best value for the partnership. We've also got other properties that are in the center part of our community, which is 600 and 601 Blue Heron, West Blue Heron. That's the current area of where our City Hall campus is now, and adjacent to that or across the street is our Wells Recreation Center. Those particular facilities that are currently on that site, one being City Hall and then across the street Wells Recreation, are at the end of their useful life. And so this board has said we want to have these amenities come to life. but we need partnerships to effectively do that. This ITN will give you more flexibility and opportunity to come with ideas, suggestions, solutions, opportunities that we as the city are asking for a true, genuine partner. There's no specific thing the city is saying it's a has to happen and has to happen in this way. We want creativity. We want innovative ideas. We want creative ideas. We want solutions. We don't want a cookie cutter solution. We want a Riviera Beach solution. So as you identify your teams and you build your proposals, please think, let's create something transformational. Let's be different. Let's be unique, but let's also make sure that we create the opportunities for the residents to be proud of what that development is. We want to make sure the development opportunities are inclusive, and we want to make sure the development opportunities reflect what I believe to be South Florida's best kept secret. We have all the infrastructure assets that other communities, larger communities than us, do not have. We've got the Port of Palm Beach. We've got one of Florida's deep seawater ports. We have I-95. We have the Turnpike. We have rail. So we have major infrastructure in this community that can provide for great opportunities. We are home to multiple Fortune 100 and 500 companies. They've invested in this community. The 38,000 plus residents that call this community home have invested in this community. And what we ask for you to do is to invest in this community. And I can tell you, I'm not up here just telling you things that I don't believe in. This is who we are. This is the core of who we are. And we are looking for partners that believe in the opportunities. For all of you that have been watching some of the redevelopment that's happened in our community, there's over $1 billion just on Broadway as it relates to projects that have been approved or are in the approval process. So we are on fire, and we are looking for a developer that has the same passion, or developers that have the same passion, that want to join us as we reimagine Riviera Beach. There's approximately, I think, 1,400 plus units, whether it's condos or apartments or what have you, that are happening in this Broadway corridor. And so we are certainly excited about the number of opportunities for what's happening, but also with these dollars that we see in the investment of our community, we want to improve the infrastructure and the overall opportunities and the quality of life of our residents. Development that's inclusive, that they can see, I remember when, and they can be part of this. So thank you so much for the opportunity. Thank you for indulging me to share something that I am truly passionate about. And I can tell you, as a father of a 14-month that was born in this community, I want to make sure that she can say, when dad missed out on this, these are the things that he helped create with a team and with a partnership and with the board to make this community better for future generations to come. So at this time, thank you for the opportunity, and I'm going to turn it over to our teammates at CBRE.
Thank you. Can you all hear me? Can everybody hear in the back? So my name is Mike McShay, and you're a tough act to follow. So thank you for that introduction and for talking a little bit about our project. So many of you, not all of you, are familiar with CBRE. And I only mention this because CBRE, as an introductory, is the largest commercial real estate company in the world. 115,000 employees. We have retail, office, industrial, hospitality, virtually every kind of real estate enterprise you can think of. We don't invest in time in projects like this unless we believe in them. Okay, and we are just really very, very excited to be a part of this project. We're honored and privileged to be here today. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about, what we as a company see are really the transformational opportunities here in Riviera Beach. And so as we start looking at this, we do projects like this all across the country, very large projects, a lot of mixed use transformational projects. And what the manager had mentioned earlier, we're looking for the developers to come in with your own creative ideas. We want to hear what your thoughts are, what you think you can finance, what you can do to make successful a project here in Riviera Beach. The city's looking for a sense of identity, a sense of place. Placemaking today is extremely, extremely important. For a project like this to be transformational and to work, it has to be a place people want to come to, that they want to stay, not for just dinner, but they want to stay for a show. They want to stay overnight because there's a wonderful hotel. They want to be a part of the cruise community, all of those things. And so as a developer advisor or as a development advisor, we're looking to help create that environment or help the city to create that environment. Exceptional neighborhoods, that's what makes or will make Riviera reimagined. Okay. And then finally, something that we just don't want to have lost in the conversation is this is really about strengthening the community, but engaging the community, engaging the contractors, the developers, the builders, the engineers, the architects that can participate in this project for the long term. So if you're a big developer, we encourage you greatly to reach out to that community, make sure that this community knows that you are embracing and engaging them throughout the development process. Let's go to the next slide, please. So, what are the main elements of the project? Well, the first is a municipal complex. By municipal complex, we're basically talking about a city hall, okay? And you will see later in the presentation today that we're looking at a building that's approximately 150,000 square feet. Okay, we'd like that building to be environmentally friendly. It highlights the history and culture of the city of Riviera Beach. But I think many of you who are involved in the office environment today know that the world is changing. Back to office has changed. The use of technology has changed dramatically. And so as we start thinking about that, we're looking for the developer that will come with the very best, newest, and brightest ideas of what this new municipal complex might be about. The second thing that we're looking at, and we'll expand on this shortly, is a sports and recreation center or complex. And when you see the drawings and what we are looking at or the city is considering or envisioning, it's just really a world-class competition, and multi-purpose field with recreational amenities. Now, one of the things you're going to see in a little bit is that we're talking about using a portion of, or potentially using a portion of the school property, which is adjacent to the sites that you're going to see shortly. The city is in conversations today with the school board. Mr. Evans may talk about that later, but we believe that the school board is a willing participant and a collaborator on how this whole community might be redeveloped, and this sports complex can be developed in cooperation with the high school. So that's something that we'd like everybody to consider. And finally, I mentioned all of the things that CBRE looks at or our capabilities in terms of retail hospitality. This really needs to be a mixed-use community that embraces all of the different elements that you might think about in a successful mixed-use community. So this surely should be a 24/7 community. It's not, 9 to 5. It's, you get off at work and you go have a drink or you go have dinner and you enjoy it on the weekends with your families. That's what we're looking for in terms of a mix of uses. This community, Leanne, who's going to speak, my business partner in a moment, is going to speak shortly. We have 20, 25 projects like this across the country. This is maybe one of the most exciting mixed-use development opportunities of a large scale anywhere in the United States. And so we hope that you will embrace the opportunity as such, that you'll come to us with your very best and brightest ideas. And with that, I think we have a short video now that we'd like to show, if we can get to that, Leanne. This is always the most stressful part of the presentation.
Thank you. Hello again, everyone. Sarah Maxfield, Business and Economic Development Manager for the city. This is the best part, right? This is the meet and greet, the Match.com portion of the program. So we really encourage you all to speak with one another. I know there's a lot of different folks here from different disciplines and many different teams. There's refreshments in the back that have been provided by Smoothie Me Please, one of our very valued local vendors. We encourage you to take advantage of that. And for those of you that are streaming, we're just going to meet and greet and pause for about 15 minutes, and then we'll start the rest of the program back up again. There is a lot of staff and CBRE folks within the audience as well. We'll be milling around and speaking to all of you, answering questions as we're able. So ready, set, go.
Yeah, yeah, it's a good spot. Yes. Yeah, local.
guys signed off.
Mike, I'm kind of.
All right, everybody, we're going to wrap this up in about 2 minutes and get going with the rest of the program. So this is your 2-minute warning. It's time to find your seat. I know. But they can stay after. If everyone would please take their seats, and we'll make sure there's time afterwards. You can stay and mingle. We're not going to kick you out. For those of you that are joining us online, we're going to start momentarily. All right, everyone, please take your seats. Thank you. Thank you so much. Hopefully that was beneficial and enjoyable. If you want to stay after the program to continue conversations, you are absolutely more than welcome to. We're not going to kick you out of here anytime soon, and we encourage you to continue to network with one another. We're going to move on with our program. Ms. Clarissa Willis is going to speak about a little bit about the market overview. She's with CBRE, and she's located right here in South Florida. So I'm going to turn over the mic to Ms. Clarissa Willis.
Thank you, Sarah. Good afternoon, everyone. It's so good to see everyone today. And I just want to reiterate some of the things that have been already brought out by the city manager, Mr. Evans, and also Chairperson Lawson. But as some of you are aware or may not be aware, the city of Riviera Beach is located on the east coast of Florida, the state of Florida. And its location makes it a prime area for new developments, especially because it's situated in proximity to several major cities in South Florida, such as West Palm Beach, Fort Lauderdale, and Miami, all of which have large populations and make it great for numerous business opportunities. Also, the city has experienced significant growth over the past few years and has attracted investments in several industries such as technology, real estate, and tourism. In regards to tourism and recreation, Riviera Beach is known for its beautiful, pristine beaches, its marinas, and outdoor recreational activities. And as a result, the city attracts visitors and tourists throughout the whole year. So as you can imagine, that creates a demand for restaurants, hotels, entertainment venues, and also other resorts in the area. which means that's another opportunity for developers to capitalize on the tourism industry as well. And then as far as development projects, I know Mr. Evans mentioned some of the development projects that are going on right now, which is the redevelopment of the waterfront, the expansion of the Port of Palm Beach, which I'll expand on in a few minutes when we talk about the major employers in Riviera Beach, and also the revitalization of the downtown district. And if we could go on to the next slide. With regards to transportation, Riviera Beach is well situated as it has access to all forms of transportation in the area. For example, there is a regional and an international airport uh, in close proximity to Riviera Beach. The Palm Beach International Airport is only 8 miles south of Riviera Beach, and then the Palm Beach County Park and Lantana Airport, which is a regional airport, is only 17 miles south of Riviera Beach. And in terms of land travel, there's close proximity to I-95 and then A1A, which is along the beaches. And with rail, you have access to a regional, a local railway, which is the Palm Tran, and that runs through all of Palm Beach County, as well as the Tri-Rail, which is a regional commuter train, which links and goes through, starts in Miami and ends at Riviera Beach's Mangonia Park Station. Then also you have the water taxis right here at Marina Village, which gives you access to beautiful Peanut Island, which has a lot of activities such as camping as well as boating. And we'll go on to the next slide, please. And some of the top employers of Riviera Beach are the Port of Palm Beach, which is the main economic driver, the top employer for the city of Riviera Beach. And as Mr. Evans explained, that there's also a redevelopment project going on for the port. It's one of the main business opportunities in ports and one of the main ports and busiest ports in the state of Florida. It is a major hub for cargo and cruise ship traffic, and there's an ongoing major expansion going on. Next is the marine, with the port, then you also have the marine industry. The marine industry is a great industry with a true growth, main economic driver for the city, as there's several major boat yards, marine service providers, and other marine industries that contribute to the economy, local economy as well. Then we talked about the tourism and hospitality industry, which plays a vital role in the economy of Riviera Beach. And last, you have the healthcare and education industries, which are growing in the area. And as the healthcare industry has several well-known regional healthcare facilities, such as Riviera Beach Medical Center and the Kindred Hospital. And the next slide, please. And some of the notable development activities that are ongoing currently in Riviera Beach, I want to point out, is that these are just a few, not all of them, but if you'll notice, there are 4 projects that are on Broadway. And 2 of the major projects are the Gallery of Marina Village, which has 400 units that are going up, and then the Oculina project on Broadway, which is 399 units. And also, as Mr. Evans mentioned earlier, this event center, or this area here, the Marina Village, is also undergoing a renovation and expansion. There are going to be 4 waterfront restaurants and also a Margaritaville entertainment venue that's going to be here as well. So Riviera Beach is on the move, and it's looking very exciting. As you can see, there's other opportunities here, and you'll see in the ITN, there's more developments that are going up as well, in addition to that. And now we're going to talk about sites. I know you saw on the video the sites, but we're going to go into more detail about the sites under consideration. And I first also want to make note and mention that even though we have 3 sites listed here, developers can submit a proposal for either all 3 sites, 2 sites, or just 1 site. So there's no set formula for how you need to submit a proposal. If you want to submit just on a Broadway site, you can do that, which is the down at the bottom here. That's the site, a 2-acre site. And then the major sites are listed up above. The Blue Heron parcels are located at 600 and 601 West Blue Heron Boulevard. They one is where the municipal complex is on the north side of Blue Heron. Then on the south side of Blue Heron is where the wellness complex is located. And then right behind the municipal complex, just to the north of the municipal complex, is the school board parcels. And I just want to reiterate this as well, that the city currently does not have site control of the school board parcels, but they're in constant communication and negotiations with the Palm Beach School Board to either do a ground lease or an interlocal agreement for further redevelopment. So the Blue Heron sites equal about plus or minus 40 acres. The Broadway site is 2 acres, and then the school board parcels are about plus or minus 40 acres as well. So just know that I want to reiterate this is again that you can submit a proposal for all 3 sites, or you can choose one site or do 2 sites if you like. Okay, and I'll turn it now over to Leanne Course.
Hello. Thank you all for coming out today. Drilling down into the development vision and guidelines just a little bit. This is the preliminary program that the city completed over the last couple of years to really help understand what their future needs were for the city hall, which is the administrative services line, the public library, council chambers, justice center, community meeting space, retail to support those uses, as well as parking to then support all of those various uses as well. So this is preliminary. I think you heard my colleague Mike McShay earlier say the world's changed with COVID and return to work. So this isn't set in stone. We may be revisiting it a little bit or tweaking it as learnings have occurred over the last couple of years, but it does give you all a sense of what the city is looking for in a municipal complex. And sports are important to Riviera Beach. And this diagram gives you a sense of what they're looking for in terms of a sports complex. You can see everything from a rec center, wellness center, to various ball fields, tennis courts, aquatic center. Most important, I think, throughout that diagram, though, are pedestrian connections. We want the sports complex to be accretive to the high school and the community as a whole, and those pedestrian connections throughout the throughout the project are important. Next. So we have a longtime partner that prepared this blocking and massing plan. It is not intended to be prescriptive at all. It is one iteration of what the potential on the site could be. But it is not at all intended to be the final. It is conceptual. I just want to reinforce that. But we thought it was important to at least get a sense of how all those various uses in mixed use project could lay out on the site. You can see the existing high school on the bottom right, Inlet Grove, and then mixed use development, and how really Blue Heron could be connected in the middle with some sort of a public space. Next. So we did the same thing for Broadway, and importantly, we showed how a lower rise development might look on the site in the upper left-hand image, and in the bottom, wanted to point out that the PUD does allow for high-rise construction, and that's how potentially the high-rise could look on the site. Again, conceptual. We want all of your best and brightest ideas and creativity, and you may have better solutions than these blocking and massing plans, but they do at least give us a sense of the density and the uses on the site. So I'm now going to turn it back over to Mike. This workshop was intended for local participation and developer feedback, and I hope there's no stage fright and that you all will answer some of these questions that we're going to pose. Certainly, there's opportunity before the invitation to negotiate is released for you all to provide feedback as well. But I'll turn it over to Mike now to ask a few questions and see if we can't get your feedback.
Thank you, Leanne. So, one of the things that I find most valuable when we do these developer forums around the country is really getting feedback from all of you that are both investing and having to construct, new facilities. So what we're looking to just have you think about, and if you're willing to express your ideas, we'd appreciate it. Which of the sites are most important to you? We know that this is one of the largest developments of any kind really in the country in a mixed use urban environment. And so if you all would be willing to share whether it's the Blue Heron site or Broadway, I know that's a competitive decision that you all need to make, but we are interested and would appreciate your feedback as to which of the sites would be most interesting to you. And if you do not feel like you'd like to do it in a public forum, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. We'd appreciate and welcome the feedback, online, and you can reach out to Tess Fleming or Leanne or myself or Clarissa. We'd be happy to receive that. And then also, in addition to the sites themselves, which of the mix of uses do you think can be most successful here? Now, around the country, we're seeing all kinds of housing development. That housing usually has a workforce element attached to it. And what other uses could be or should be included in this development? And so, we'd like you all to be thinking about that. And again, before we issue the ITN, we're hoping that you all will give us some feedback so that we can craft that invitation to negotiate in a way that will make sense to you, that's financeable in this market, which is difficult. We all understand that, but let's find out, from you all what you'd like to see in terms of the mix of uses, residential, retail, whatever. Now, I will say that, I lead the state and local practice for CBRE across the United States. And, municipal projects have a tendency to take a long time. They take longer typically. But I can tell you that the city here has been really moving forward quickly on trying to make important and informed decisions. Okay. And so, if there is something that you're concerned about, it could be zoning and entitlements. It could be, how the city will convey property, anything like that. We'd like to know, or whatever lessons you may have learned, things that you're concerned about, so that we do release the ITN. Again, we've done it in an informed way to make sure that we get the kind of response that we're hoping for, but also that we can all have a successful project. I know I'm rifling through these things, but I don't see a lot of hands going up. I'll ask for some response in just a moment. Importantly, what kind of support do you want from the city? There's always zoning and entitlements and getting through the environmental process, all of those things. So, there's those kinds of questions. There's finance questions. And Mr. Evans didn't talk about it, but he's got a bond referendum that's coming out March 19th for what could potentially be a substantial investment in the sports facility. Yeah, let me bring the mic over and we can do that.
So I'll also share some additional exciting news. Through the penny surtax or sales tax or what have you, the city does have $20 million that has been set aside for the purposes of the investment for City Hall. So we do have capital that's available that has been earmarked specific to that project. But we are asking our voters to consider 3 bond referendums, one being the Parks and Recreational element, which is about $55 million that we're asking for the community to assist in funding. And that particular bond referendum incorporates roughly about $45 million that will be set aside for the activation of the recreational amenities that you will see later on here. Also, another component of that is $25 million for an investment on a fire station that is here on Singer Island, and then $35 million for a new municipal police station. So we're going to ask our voters for their consideration March 19th. All 3 of those items are on the ballot for consideration. So we are looking to bring capital to the table to help leverage whatever assets and resources we have to facilitate the redevelopment of our community.
Thank you. So you can see, yes, sir, in the back. And
Well, I've got my finance director here, Mr. Randy Sherman, and he can speak on greater specificities concerning the bond language. Mr. Sherman?
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for coming. Again, Randy Sherman, I'm the Finance Director for the city. Um, in answer to your question, if the bond referendums really are for us to borrow the money and do the construction, it really wouldn't be more of what I guess in that term I would consider a lease payment. That really is then an alternative method of financing for us. So the dollars, the way the wording is structured in the questions that the voters will be is for us to, construct, own, not necessarily operate, but we would have to construct it and pay for it through the debt.
One more quick housekeeping. I put a card on every table. That's my business card. On the back is a QR code. If you snap that, it'll get my contact information right into your phone. Many folks have been asking for this presentation or the sign-in sheets, so on and so forth. If you email me and you want any of those things, just shoot me an email and I'll make sure that you get the information that I'm allowed to share with you. Okay?
Thank you, Sarah. And we would very much encourage all of you to reach out to each other. So I'd like to think that we will be able to share the sign-in sheet once we get to it. And we have another question up here in the front. I think we've migrated into the Q&A period. Okay.
Good afternoon, Baron Channer, CEO of Woodwater Investments, South Florida-based development firm. Kudos to the manager and staff and the team for getting the city here with a full room of people talking about investing. My question has to do with, you talked about the penny tax program. Is there consideration for some sort of either transit center, transit hub to activate the general area?
So one of the questions, or to repeat the question, is there a desire for any transit hub? Actually, it is something that we are amenable to because we want to make sure there is connectivity and accessibility. So that's something that for a long time we've talked about. So the short answer is yes.
So while we're moving through, we have another question up here in front. And can I ask you to hold for just 1 second? And then I will just say, one of the questions that we want to have answered today from all of you is we typically will allow like 60 days for a response. And my question, just in a show of hands, is 60 days enough time for you all to get an effective and comprehensive proposal together? If it is, raise your hand. 60 days? Okay. How about 90 days? A few more hands go up. Okay, that's all I needed to know on that. And now we'll have your other question.
Could you show the slide of the Broadway site for a second? The property. The Broadway site, it's a city block site. And there's also, when you do these kind of projects, there's a lot of opportunity nearby. So if you could maybe send out an addendum and share who owns what around there. There's a lot of empty land and one-story buildings and other opportunities that might be positively impacted by a proposal on that site and make it a bigger project.
I'm going to turn that over to Sarah.
Sure. I think all that information is readily available on public site. So we would expect our developers to do their research. And if there's anything, I know there are some CRA sites nearby and things like that. So there may be a connection there. But other than that, we would expect you all to do your own due diligence and reach out to those owners.
That's a great idea. All right. Thank you. Let's go back to our questions. Oh, we missed it. So we got the other question, and one of the real, I guess, things that the city is trying to accomplish more than anything else is they want to make sure that the local community is included. That could be everything from the local restaurant owner that wants to have a presence on this new development. It could be engineers and architects locally that can participate. It could be investor owners that really want to be a part of this new development. And there's a lot of room in here. This is 80 acres of land. All right. It could be a master developer with sub-developers that have, specialty in mixed use residential housing, all kinds of retail, office components, et cetera. It does not have to be any one vision for how this project might get developed. And we really are seeking local participation at every level. So please do not hesitate to reach out. And I don't know if you've got anything you'd like to add to it. You already mentioned it earlier very much that that is one of the big impetuses for the city to execute this project. So I'll leave it at that. So local participation, very, very important. Other questions that you all might have of the city or CBRE? Okay. We will be happy to make the presentations available. We will be happy to share with you any information that you might want or need in order to make an effective proposal. And with that, I will turn it over to Mr. Evans to close this out.
Again, thank you all for spending your time here with us. And I can't stress that. That's the only commodity we can't buy more of. And it is so refreshing to us as staff and members of this community that you've taken the time to be here, because we can't give you that time back. But what we can give you here today is an opportunity to create a legacy that is second to none and world class. And so when we talk about the facilities and the opportunities, realize that we are looking for creativity. One of the things, and this may be the public administrator in me, one of the things that I do anywhere I go visit their city halls. And what I visit their city halls is I go to see these sleepy city halls, the most valuable real estate in all of the community, dormant after 5 o'clock. I'm not necessarily interested in that. And so we're open to the ideas and the concept that City Hall lives and breathes into the evening, that there's activities, whether it's restaurants or shops or what have you, that create for the synergy where the community can feel welcome. One of the things I love about the city of Orlando City Hall is they have rocking chairs in front. And the reason is they want the public to know that they're home. And so when you're thinking about that, think about what can create an opportunity where people may not have any business at City Hall, but want to come there to that property for the purposes of the activities. We want to create world-class amenities and recreational amenities that rival some that you see on college campuses. We have, and I would argue this, we probably have more professional athletes per capita than any other community. We had 2 that were looking to be here today, but unfortunately couldn't be with us. We also have, I don't know if you've read the paper lately, but Guy Fieri lives in Riviera Beach, and there was an article in the paper. So help us, already capitalize on the opportunities others have seen here. We have world-class diving locations. Later on in the evening, probably after our city council meeting, I'll be at Phil Foster Park fishing in one of the most pristine bodies of water, the Lake Worth Lagoon, in the world. We have fish here that you cannot find anywhere else from the Caribbean. If we don't excite you about having an island in our backyard and a cruise ship, I don't know what else could excite you. Palm Beach County is looking to activate the Kennedy Bunker and the facilities that are on that island to the tune of about, I think, over $8 million. So think about that. They're going to spend that money to create a tourist destination on an island that's in close proximity to a lot of the things that you would be looking to develop. So people come here from all over the world to enjoy a little slice of paradise. And what we're asking for you is to help us build that to a point where people are so excited about what we have to see. If anybody are avid anglers, if you watch Shark Week, about 30% of the shows on Shark Week are filmed right here out of Riviera Beach. And I can tell you, I watch it all the time. And I'm like, oh, there's that condo building. There's that condo building. So we have a international and national presence here in our community. And so this is a great opportunity. And if my staff and CBR, if we can be assistance throughout this process, before obviously the solicitation goes out, we certainly are here to answer any questions. But we're not selling you something that we don't believe in, and we don't sell you something that we live here. So we care about what the overall activation of our community. And for our residents, I'm telling you, they are so excited about this opportunity. They are excited to participate in the redevelopment. They're excited to go to these facilities. They are tired, sick and tired of going to other places and growing other communities and they want to build it here in Riviera Beach. So please allow for us to take that journey together as partners, and we're here to make sure that this relationship is a fruitful and prosperous relationship as we reimagine Riviera Beach. So again, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you all. So as Sarah said earlier, there's no rush to get out of the room. Please take your time. We're very grateful to have you here today and appreciate your participation. Thank you all. Oh, and if you have not done so, please sign in so that we can make sure to communicate with you and get your email address.